So Pope Francis passed away, of course, which means that there needs to be another pope to replace him. And already, we're seeing the favorite on X is this man, the Cardinal Robert Sarah. Yes, so it's time for the first pope from sub-Saharan Africa. Cardinal Robert Sarah could do wonders for the church. So let's take a look at why they love him so much. Here's Nick Sorter. Wow, one of the front runners, which he's not a front runner, but we'll entertain this for now. One of the front runners for Pope, Cardinal Robert Sarah, is a hardliner against mass migration. Huge. So let's take a look at this guy who MAGA wants for their next pope, the new MAGA pope, the anti-woke MAGA pope.
Qu'est-ce qui vous inquiète?
You know, the biggest worry is that Europe doesn't want any more or has lost the sense of its origins. It has lost its roots. Yet a tree without roots, it dies. And I'm afraid the West is dying. There are plenty of signs. We see plenty of signs. No more natality. You are invaded still by other cultures, other peoples, which will progressively dominate you by their numbers and completely change your culture, your convictions, your values. Wow. Douglas Murray might convert if this guy becomes the Pope.
It might. This guy reminds me of the Chappelle sketch with the blind black Klansman who doesn't know he's black.
Yeah, the blind black guy who thinks he's a white supremacist.
He thinks he's a white supremacist. That's this guy. Yeah. You know. I mean, the legacy of your people is surely one of being invaded by Western culture,
right?
And forcibly converted.
Yeah. And now this guy says Europe has to be careful lest they be dominated by other cultures. Oh, yeah, no, they love this guy. Trad West says, this man must be the next pope. We must pray. Gender ideology is a Luciferian refusal to receive a sexual nature from God. Joey Manarino, those who use the Bible to justify mass immigration are bewitched. That's a quote. Gender ideology is a Luciferian refusal to receive a sexual nature from God. Both quotes from Cardinal Robert Sarah of Guinea. Make him the next pope. Elias says the conclave shall give this man the papacy. The Catholic Church needs a conservative pope. Yeah, this guy really not hiding it.
Because their membership hasn't been falling off a cliff for decades quite enough. They need this guy.
And this guy's not really shy about saying the quiet part out loud. I've never supported a black this much, says Antunes. Gives you an idea where they're coming from. Make Robert Sarah pope. Sachin Jose says, as a bishop, it is my duty to warn the West. The barbarians are already inside the city. That's another quote from Robert Cardinal Sarah. They have found love. Now, is he the front runner to be the next pope? No, he is not. I hate to disappoint Nick Sorter here.
They're trying to make him happen.
Trying to make him happen, indeed. The Polymarket odds have Pietro Parolin and Luis Antonio Tagle as the two front runners in the race so far. Robert Sarah way down at 4%. So, they say Twitter is or is not real life, depending on the context. If it appears in this context, it is not real life. If you've been on Twitter the past couple of days, you've learned plenty about Robert Sarah, and you have every reason to believe he is the front runner, but he is not. Robin Minotti says, this one, please God, and circles Cardinal Robert Sarah. Somebody replied to him, though. I don't know. The name on this one is pretty promising. Pierbattista Pizza Balla. Yes. That's my pick, is Pierbattista Pizza Balla. With a name like Pizza Balla, that's the best name ever. Pierbattista Pizza Balla.
That's like Father Guido Sarducci.
I mean, that might be my favorite name ever. Pierbattista
That would be.
Pizzaballa.
They've got to give him a special waiver where he doesn't take the Pope name. He just keeps that one.
Yeah, no, he has to just keep that one.
Pope Pizzaballa.
Pierbattista Pizzaballa. Not only does Pierbattista not only does Pierbattista Pizzaballa have the best name, not only of any of the candidates, but of any person who's ever lived, he's also the most based, apparently. Patriarch Pizzaballa visits Gaza Christians. That's right. The Vatican News posted about this.
We have got to start our competing X campaign.
We have to. Pizzaballa 2025. Pizzaballa 25. We should have shirts made up for Pizzaballa. He presided over Mass with white vestments and a foretaste of Christmas joy. During the Mass, he also confirmed a number of young Palestinian children. The whole world is with you, he said during his sermon. So yes, Pierbattista Pizzaballa did go to Gaza right before last Christmas. So here's Cardinal Pizzaballa entering Gaza. Here he is. He's in the back there.
Yeah.
With the big hat. The OG gets the big hat. There he is. That's your next post. And this is in Gaza, right before Christmas.
I'm sold.
I'm sold. So not only does he have, just the greatest name that anyone's ever had, Pierbattista Pizzaballa, I can't stop saying it. He's also the most based one. So there you go, folks. You have your marching orders for this week. We need to create a Pizzaballa 2025 campaign for the next Pope. If he becomes the Pope, maybe I'll convert. Hey, I'm thinking about moving to Malta. The Maltese are very Catholic. So I'd fit in really well as a Catholic. And I'll join if I can join under Pope Pizzaballa.
And
Father Pizzaballa.
Apparently I got this wrong. Malteds were not invented in Malta, which I think opens up a big market because I might go there with Keaton.
Yeah,
we're going to put a play. Malteds by the sea. and we're going to have a whole thing written up on the menus about how Alexander brought the first Malteds to Malta.
Yeah.
Fuck the tourists now.
I mean, if this guy's the Pope, we'll call it Pizzaballa's Malta Malteds. Pizzaballa's Malta Malteds. This guy's the greatest. I love this guy.
This is why we get paid the big bucks, folks.
That's right. So that's our pick for next Pope, Pierbattista Pizzaballa, the best name there's ever been, and visited Gaza on Christmas. I'm sold. So remember, folks.
All right, in folks, get the hashtag trending.
Yes.
Pizzaballa 2025.
In a world of Robert Sarahs, be a Pizzaballa.
Be a Pizzaballa.
Yes. Clearly, there's never been a more obvious pick for anything, ever. How can you not pick Pizzaballa?
How is he doing in the rankings?
Not great. He's only 6%. No? He's only 6%. Yeah, he's slightly favored ahead of Robert Sarah. But he's got to catch fire. This guy's where. No,
it's funny. I mean, more and more, I'm glad that they're saying the soft part out loud. If you notice, more and more, the MAGA people are just taking the mask off.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
if you push them, I had somebody in on my ex who's, you know, obsessed with commenting on my shit, who's, you know, one of our disgruntled former viewers.
Right.
And you know, he called me a city boy, and I was like, yeah, you know, all the city people are wicked and don't know the pleasures of meth addiction and wife beating and alcoholism. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I stereotype people by their
Right.
region? Did I stereotype an entire region of people? He goes, that's just the Browns.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
push them, they'll tell you what they actually think. No, I'm not a racist. Come on. And actually, I'll say this. What that guy said, that is exactly the wavelength they're on. That's why I always said they love a guy like Tim Scott, just like the Democrats do. Just like the Democrats love an Obama, Wall Street loves an Obama.
Well, that's
They
why they
can
love
keep
this
doing
guy.
the same thing and hide behind him. How can you say, look, he's black? Right? It makes it easier for them to say, we're not racist. We supported a black pope.
My
We
favorite black.
love
I've
the
never
black pope.
supported a black this much, says Antunes one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
No, we're not racist. This movement isn't rife with racists. No.
It's also rife with a yearning to be dominated by a strong man. I mean, what these people like? Look at the way, like the fact that you would that fact that you see this guy as like a spiritual leader, right? As if him advocating these things is in service of a better, more desirable world for you to live in. You could see the last thing on their mind is liberty, freedom. They don't talk, all they talk about is throwing people in jail, building walls, deporting people, throwing people in prison. Like that's their whole
you tell
their
them
whole
about
thing.
You tell them about the suffering of white South Africans. All of a sudden, they're very sympathetic to
Right. Yeah,
foreign-born
their heart
people.
opens up. Yeah.
All of a sudden, they really, I mean, not just care. They can't sleep at night. They worrying about their poor white South African brothers. Meanwhile, you have people down in South and Central America who are actually suffering horrible atrocities. Fuck them.
Right.
But you're not a racist. How does that work?
Yeah, no, it's pretty obvious, and you know the fact that they are rallying behind this Robert Serra guy, who, yes, I mean they live in a world of bullshit. He's not the front runner. He, knock on wood, will not be the next pope. But yeah, man, they love the idea. They love the idea of just living under the control of dominating men.
Right.
That's what they love.
Which is why Pete Hegseth's next leak is going to end up on Grindr.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, this is why I say, like, look, I don't even mean it as a troll at this point. I think it's a very serious piece of political thinking that there's a repressed homosexual undercurrent within MAGA, and this is certainly part of it.
Just like there was with the Nazis.
Yes.
Come on,
absolutely.
Man. Come on,
yes.
man. Nobody doesn't
sound analysis
dipped in the shorts as that into leather.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's sound analysis at this point. And not only is that an element, in all seriousness, I think it is. And that's not a knock, nothing wrong with that. But I also believe that perhaps much more pathological is the fact that desire to be ruled over and dominated by a strongman is more a reflection of their own sense of powerlessness and despair and meaninglessness. Right? They gain meaning from joining the cult of the strongman who will not necessarily make their lives better, because whose life has gotten better these last 90 days? Nobody's. There's a lot of people whose lives have gotten worse. And if you're one of these people who has this desire, this emotional and psychological need to live in the dominion of a strong alpha male, then that is rewarded in and of itself, that other people have been made to suffer. That is where they derive meaning. That's why they like these people who, when you listen to their view of the world, it's such a bleak, miserable place. Right. But the people who champion them are the people who already live in a bleak, miserable place. And they feel elevated by the decimation of others. And that's why they rally behind people like Trump and behind guys like Homan and, behind guys like this. When clearly Pierbattista Pizza Balla is the choice of the people.
That's the people's choice.
That's the people's choice right there. I mean, you can't compete with that name. Are you kidding? Pierbattista Pizza Balla? That's it. No contest.
Please clap.